Hey there, news junkie. Ever scroll through your news feed and wonder, how does it know? How does it seem to know exactly what I want to see?
Well, get this. Today's deep dive, we're going to unpack that mystery. We're diving into how technology, especially mobile internet and AI, is totally changing how we consume news.
And it is a wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're moving away from the days when just a few big media companies controlled the narrative. Think about it, they were the DJs of the airwaves, right? They chose what we listened to.
Okay, I love that analogy, but now with mobile internet, it's like everyone's got their own radio
Yeah,
station.
exactly. This article we're looking at, the decline and reshaping of media influence in the information age, it dives deep into how this shift happened. Suddenly, we're not just passively consuming news. We're sharing it. We're commenting on it. We're even becoming part of the story. Remember, mention a relevant recent viral news event
Oh, yeah.
that spread like wildfire online, even before traditional news outlets could even catch their breath. Totally. It's incredible how quickly information travels now, but it's not just about speed, right? It's about having access to so many different viewpoints, which the article highlights as a major game changer.
Absolutely. This abundance of voices can be incredibly empowering. We're no longer relying on a select few to tell us what to think.
It's like going from a carefully curated museum exhibit to this bustling marketplace of ideas, wouldn't you say?
Ooh, that's a good one. A very fitting image. But just like any bustling marketplace, it's not without its downsides.
And this is where AI comes in.
Precisely.
Hmm.
So we've talked about how mobile internet changed. WHO is controlling the message, but AI is changing how that message finds you.
Okay, so you're talking about algorithms. I'll admit, sometimes I feel like they know me better than I know myself.
It's true. This article, it specifically calls out companies like ByteDance, the company behind TikTok they've mastered, using algorithms to curate basically a personalized news feed just for you, showing you more of what you already like.
Which, on the surface, doesn't sound so bad. I mean, who doesn't love having content tailored to their interests? But I'm guessing there's a catch.
There is. While personalization can be super convenient, it also creates what we call echo chambers. Imagine only ever hearing opinions that agree with your own. It's comfortable, sure, but it can also lead to a very distorted view of the world.
And that can make it harder to, have productive conversations and understand different points of view. This is starting to feel less like a bustling marketplace and more like a bunch of separate rooms where everyone's just agreeing with each other.
You've hit the nail on the head. And the article argues that this fragmentation of information, this creation of echo chambers, it's one of the biggest challenges we face in this new media landscape.
Hmm.
But thankfully, not all hope is lost. There are ways to navigate this complexity, and that's what we'll explore in our next segment. It's kind of like, learning a new language when you think about it, navigating this new media landscape.
Okay, I like where this is going. Break it down for me.
Well, think about it. In the past, we could rely on a few, trusted sources to give us the information.
Right.
It was like speaking our native tongue. Everything felt familiar. But now, it's like we've been dropped in a foreign country,
Uh-huh, yeah.
and everyone's speaking a different dialect, and we're just trying to make sense of it all.
And some of those dialects might be a bit harder to understand than others.
Exactly. And that's where the article's emphasis on media literacy comes in. It's like learning the grammar, the vocabulary of this new information landscape so we can tell the difference, right? Tell the difference between reliable sources and the ones that are trying to, mislead us.
Okay, so how do we become more fluent in this language of media? Because it can feel pretty overwhelming at times, with just the sheer volume of information that's coming at us.
The article suggests a few things. First and foremost, it says we need to be aware of our own biases.
You mean how we tend to gravitate towards information that kind of already confirms what we already believe?
Exactly, it's human nature. But in this new media landscape where algorithms are, they're designed to feed us more of what we already like, it's easier than ever to get stuck in those echo chambers we talked about.
So how do we break out of those echo chambers? It's not like we can just switch off our biases, right?
We can't,
Yeah.
but we can be aware of them. The article really stresses the importance of consciously seeking out diverse perspectives, even those that, we might not initially agree with.
So instead of just scrolling through the same old news sources, actively look for articles or opinions that challenge our existing viewpoints.
Yes, think of it like expanding your palate. So you might love your comfort food, right? But trying new cuisines, different cuisines, it exposes you to different flavors and it broadens your kind of appreciation. Same goes for information. Exposing ourselves to different viewpoints helps us develop a more nuanced and informed understanding of the world.
It's like that saying, you are what you eat, but for information.
Exactly. And just like, you wouldn't eat a meal without checking if the ingredients were fresh. We need to apply that same scrutiny to the information that we consume.
Checking the source, considering, the author's perspective, looking for evidence to back up any claims.
Yes, yes, yes. All crucial steps in becoming more discerning media consumers. And this is particularly important, I think, when it comes to, well, the article dives into this a bit about the use of social media in political
Oh,
campaigns.
yeah, that's a whole other level of information overload, right? I mean, how do we even begin to navigate the world of like political spin and, targeted messaging and all of that? It feels like during campaign season, the volume's just turned up to 11.
It really is. In this article, it points out how political campaigns, they're getting really savvy with these algorithms, using them to
Yeah.
like really target voters with a lot of precision.
So it's not just about getting our vote anymore, is it? It's like they're trying to shape our whole perception of like the entire political landscape.
Yeah, you got it. With social media, campaigns can, they can target us with laser-like precision. It's delivering messages that are like specifically tailored to our interests or concerns.
Which, I mean, I guess on the one hand, you could say it's a way to engage voters on a more personal level.
Right.
But it can also feel, kind of manipulative at times.
It can.
Mm.
And that's where that critical thinking we were talking about, it becomes even more crucial. We need to remember that not everything we see online, especially during a campaign, it's uh, not always a true or complete picture. It's
Yeah.
not always reality.
It's like that old saying, trust but verify. It takes on a whole new meaning in the digital age, right?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
This article, it really encourages us to be active in the political process. Don't just be passive consumers of information that's, just thrown our way. We got to like engage.
So do our own research, cross-reference different sources,
Right.
fact check, fact check, fact check before we hit that share button.
Exactly, exactly. And remember, it's not just about being skeptical of information that, maybe challenges our views.
Hmm.
We got to apply that same level of scrutiny to information that confirms what we already think, too.
Yeah, because let's be honest, it's a lot easier to just believe something because it already aligns with like what we already think.
Oh, 100%. But here's the good news. This article, it suggests that this shift in media, this shift in influence, it's not all bad. It's not just about the challenges. It's also about the incredible opportunities that it creates.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Tell me more about these opportunities.
Well, for one, it's never been easier for everyday people, for individuals, to make their voices heard. We're not reliant on these big media gatekeepers anymore to, amplify our message. We can build our own platforms. We can connect with people and even spark like, global movements.
Think about how many times we've seen social media be a force for good, right? Like raising awareness about issues, getting people to like mobilize, take action, even holding those in power accountable.
Exactly. It's like citizen journalism at its finest. And
Yeah.
it's not just about individuals either. This article points out that this shift, it's also creating space for new media outlets to emerge, new and innovative ones, that is, ones that are really prioritizing transparency and community and, a genuine commitment to quality information.
So instead of just, being sad about the decline of traditional media, we can choose to support the ones who are really trying to build something better.
Now you're getting it. It's about being conscious about what we consume,
Mhm.
supporting the creators who are, aligned with our values, and using our own voices to actually contribute something meaningful.
Yeah, it's like we've been handed this incredible toolkit, right? All this information, all this technology. Now it's up to us to, to use it wisely.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This deep dive, it's given us all a lot to think about, that's for sure. The media landscape, it's always changing, it's complex, um, but by embracing critical thinking, by seeking out diverse perspectives, and by really engaging in thoughtful dialogue, we can all navigate this new world and, maybe even help shape a better future.
For a topic that started with algorithms and echo chambers, that's a pretty optimistic takeaway.
Right.
And on that note, we've come to the end of our deep dive into this ever-evolving world of media and information. It's been great.
It's been a
and
pleasure diving deep with you.
It has. Until next time, everyone, remember to stay curious, keep asking those questions, and never stop exploring.